Hi my babies, hi, and welcome back to another Sunday in Mimosa. I know it's been a little minute. Today's Sunday in Mimosa is you have no space for space fillers. So today, well, before we even get into it, make sure that you get that birthday read-in for $20 until the end of September. And today is also the last day to get 18% off everything Virgo Garden, Queen Alchemy, and FAB Boutique. We enter the code BLACKBUSINESS18 in all caps. Now, today we're going to be speaking about someone y'all heard me speak about before. His name is Chicken and Spaghetti. So me and Chicken and Spaghetti, and y'all going to find out why that's his name in a second. Me and Chicken and Spaghetti, we met on MySpace, and he liked some of the poetry I was posting because I would post it publicly, and that's how we clicked. So we started inboxing each other, which led to us building a friendship. And I mean, we would talk about anything and everything, and at the point in time I was conscious, so that's kind of like mainly like where our conversations were. But we also would like speak about family, like our mothers and things of that nature, because both me and him have issues with our mothers. So we ended up exchanging numbers, and when I say we would talk on the phone for hours, I mean hours. And it got to the point where my ex-fiance was uncomfortable with it because he would leave and I'll be on the phone with him, and he would come back like 6-7 hours later and I'll still be on the phone with him. Right. But this is the thing. You wouldn't be insecure about that if you would stay in the house so I could have conversation with you, so you can have someone else giving me conversation. Okay. Okay. So it got to the point where he started coming home early just to hear our conversations. Like, when I say he was extremely possessive, like he just wanted to eavesdrop in on our conversations. And probably because he ain't had nothing else to talk to me about, honey. Okay? But one night, me and Chicken and Spaghetti, we were on the phone and he was cooking. And I asked him, I said, what are you cooking? Because he knew I was in school for culinary. He was like, oh, I'm making spaghetti. And at a point in time, spaghetti was like one of my favorite foods. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. So 20 minutes later, he started yelling like he was getting like popped by grease. So I was like, why are you yelling for? Like, what are you doing over there? And he was like, I'm frying chicken. I said, didn't you just say you're making spaghetti? He said, yeah, I'm making fried chicken and spaghetti. You ain't never had fried chicken and spaghetti before? And I was like, no, I didn't even know that went together. He said, you really should try it. It's really good. So one day I tried it. Okay, when I say fried chicken and spaghetti go together real bad. Okay? They go together real bad. And every once in a while, I will eat chicken and spaghetti. I will eat fried chicken and spaghetti. So that's how he got his nickname, Chicken and Spaghetti. So he did tell me that he liked me, but he respected like my situation. He knew I was engaged and that me and my ex-fiance were living together. Also, he told me that he used to stay in the 757. Like, he grew up out here, but at the point in time when we like met on MySpace, he was actually staying in Georgia with his mom and his sister and with whoever his mama was dating at the point in time. His mom is part of this group called Numerology. I'm technically not saying it correctly, but I refuse to say it correctly because I do not respect people that are child rapists, women abusers, just break women down. Yeah, I don't respect that, so I refuse to say their name correctly. But yeah, they up under Dr. York, who I have absolutely no respect for either. And it's just really an abusive situation for women. It's a cult, and it's a conscious cult at that. And it's just, I know someone who was born into this cult, and he was actually like starting a support group for the women that went through the things that they went through as children. And he added me to the group chat that they had, and the stories that I read that these women went through as children, my God. I'm like, the mothers just handing their daughters over to be raped. And some of their sons too. They just hand them over to the men to be raped. They know that they're raping them or molesting them. They know that. I read one story in the group chat, and the lady was like, she had to protect her little sister, so she would just let him touch on her so he wouldn't touch, her little sister. Like, the things that women, children shouldn't have to go through. Like, I don't understand the brainwashing going on there, but yeah, he had explained all of that to me, that basically they were in a cult. So MySpace ended up inventing like this new feature where you could buy your friends, but I didn't like it because it kind of reminded me of slavery. Okay, why are you buying me for? I'm not for sale. Okay, like I said in my song, Misunderstood, the talent got a price, but you can't have my soul. I really didn't like that feature. But my ex-fiance, of course, he had bought me, but then Chicken and Spaghetti bought me. So they started going back and forth, and this went on for like 2 weeks. And it got to the point where my ex-fiance got irritated and he snapped. And he was like, why is Dre buying you for it? Why is Dre buying you? Why he keep buying you for it? What the fuck going on with you and Dre? I'm like, who the fuck is Dre? Come to find out, my ex-fiance and Chicken and Spaghetti knew each other. I was like, that's Chicken and Spaghetti. He was like, that's who you be on the phone with for hours? Yes, come to find out they knew each other. So they had grew up around each other in our old neighborhood, technically. I'm like, who the fuck don't you know? Okay, and this is part of the problem why there's so much blackballing and stuff going on, because he is a homeless loner. Like, he never really belonged anywhere. So he would just always be roaming the streets and this, that, and the third, and that's why he know a lot of people. Okay, he was the, I don't even know what to call it, okay, but that's why he know a lot of people, though. He would just be roaming the streets, and basically he was everybody tagging on. So that's how I found out they ended up knowing each other, because they grew up out the old neighborhood together. So we had lost contact for a little while, and eventually he ended up moving back to VA, and he came to visit, and I was so excited. I was like, Chicken and Spaghetti coming to see me, Chicken and Spaghetti coming to see me. So my ex-fiance, he was excited too, because of course they knew each other growing up. So he came over to the apartment. At the point in time, my sister was dating my ex-friend, because we're no longer friends, Mac, and y'all heard me speak about Mac before, and that was Mac's first time meeting him. That was my sister's first time meeting him. That was my first time actually meeting him in the physical. But of course, you know, my ex-fiance knew him before. So like, we kicked it, we smoked, we chilled, we chopped it up, we had deep conversation. Mac liked the fact that he was conscious and stuff, so they ended up clicking, and they ended up starting a friendship. We walked to Little Caesars, because Little Caesars was like maybe 4 blocks up from where I stayed. And back then, okay, you could get a nasty ass pizza, because Little Caesars tastes way better now. You could get a nasty ass pizza from Little Caesars for $5.50 flat. We all put our money together. Don't make no damn sense, okay? Don't make no damn sense. 5 people got to come up with $5.50. Struggling like a bitch. You hear me though? Okay? Struggling like a bitch. But we ended up going to go get a pizza, and we chilled and we kicked it, and then he ended up having to leave. But we had fun. I'm not going to lie. That day we had fun. For sure. So he called me randomly one day, and like, it was for his little sister, and he know his little sister was like, you know, it's a sensitive spot for me, because I've had conversations with his little sister. I mean, I looked at her like she was my little sister. So me and her, like, we had our own personal bonding relationship. Like, he would hand her the phone. We'd be on the phone for 30 minutes to an hour, just me and her, like, talking to each other. So he was like, I need your help, Nina, I need your help. I was like, what's up? So he was like, it's these gang members messing with my sister. It's these gang members messing with my sister. He was like, and I need to get them, because they threatened to kill her, and they said they were going to shoot her in the head if she come outside. Now, mind you, this girl like 14. I said, what? I said, what the fuck did she get wrapped up in, this and the third? So basically, he wanted me to do this thing that's known, like, in the streets as honeypot. Meaning, you use a woman as a decoy to flirt with whoever the ops is, to make them, like, fall for you, get them distracted, make them have their guard down, and then boom, you get the person. However you choose to get the person, if you understand what I mean. I said, hell no, I'm not doing that. Because, hello, they gonna know my face, and then they gonna come after me. But Nina, you gonna be okay? No, bruh. Your sister need to deal with her own shit, and you need to deal with that. Don't be trying to pull me into shit, trying to have me set somebody up. The fuck I look like. So the guy that his mom was staying with now, because when she moved back to VA, she ended up moving in with another person in the cult. The person that his mom was staying with now, they didn't get along, and he ended up kicking Chicken and Spaghetti out. So we ended up losing contact again, and he popped up one day, like, at the apartment. He was like, I was hoping you still stayed here. He's like, I couldn't find none of your contact information. He said, I just took a chance to come, knocked on the door. And of course I was excited to see him. It's Chicken and Spaghetti. That was my homie. I hadn't seen him in like a couple of years at that point. And I was like, yo, what's up? Da da da. He was like, yo, where Mac at? I'm like, oh, he at his house. So Mac don't have a phone like that. So you just pull up. He's usually there. Okay. He don't work. He don't do nothing. He's usually there. Okay. No ambition. He just sit there and wait for people to bring him cigarettes, weed, and beer. Because you know somebody gonna come over his house and bring him something or take him somewhere. Okay. Right. Exactly. So I'm like, let's go over Mac house. So we go over Mac house, and I smoked them out and stuff. And we chilling, we laughing, we chopping it up. And another ex-female friend of mine by the name of Pumpkin, she walked in the sunroom, and she was like, Dre? I was like, you know him too? I'm like, you know everybody, huh? I'm like, how many names do you got? Come to find out, this boy went by a lot of different names in his life. All right. On top of, come to find out, he has like mental health issues. I don't know exactly what, but you could tell he off a little bit. He ain't all the way right up there in the head. He off a little bit. A little bit, lot of bit, but he off. Okay, know that. He ain't on. He definitely off. So, like I said, I smoked them out. We had a good time. Everybody was laughing, joking, and catching up. A couple of people came into the sunroom. That's where we all kick it at Mac house. That actually he knew or he grew up with. So it was like a reunion for him. So he was like, man, I didn't know that you knew these people. He's like, man, it's a small world, yo. I'm like, yeah, damn, it is a small world. Come to find out, like, you never know how you could be connected to somebody the whole time through other people, y'all. Through other people. So Mac rode with me to go take him home. But at the point in time, we stayed in the P, and he stayed in Norfolk off Military Highway, which is a little bit of a ride, okay? A little bit of a ride, and I'm used to driving. I'm used to driving the car. I'm used to driving at night, even though I couldn't see really well. For whatever reason, that night when I was taking him home, Mac was riding beside me in the passenger seat. Chicken and Spaghetti was in the back. And as I get on the interstate, I start feeling like I'm about to have like an anxiety attack. And I do not know why. I do not know why. It came out of nowhere. I do not know why. And the only thing I could think of is because Mac and Chicken and Spaghetti was in the car. Meaning their energy was infectious. And it ended up infecting me because I didn't have my shield up. I didn't have my energetic guards up. And so it was easy for people to naturally like infect me or taint me because I wasn't protecting myself, because I wasn't aware of how people can affect my energy just by being around me. Just by being around me. So, okay. So I started feeling like I'm having it, but I'm trying to control it. And Matt kept asking me, you okay, sis? You okay? I was like, no, I don't feel okay. Okay, so where he stays is like a 30-minute ride at least one way. So me and Mac riding back together, and we get in the tunnel, okay? We get in the tunnel, and I have a full-blown anxiety attack, and it was a bad one. I mean, I was swerving and everything, and Mac just kept trying to keep me calm. It was so bad to the point where for like a year and some change straight, if I did not have to drive on the interstate, if I didn't have to drive across the bridge, if I didn't have to go through the tunnel, I would avoid it. It was that bad. I was scared to drive on the interstate, go through the tunnel, or drive across the bridge. I'm not now. I done drove cross country, honey. Okay? I done drove cross country. Exactly. Don't stay stuck in your anxieties, your fears, your worries, and your doubts. Push forward through that shit, boo. Like I tell y'all, the only way to overcome something is what? To confront it. So I did outgrow that, but that is okay. I remember that night still, and that shit fucked with me, and I still do not understand other than it had to be their energy why I would have an anxiety attack out of nowhere. My energy was telling me, these people ain't right, Nina. Okay, that's why okay, words lie, energy doesn't. Why you need to pay attention. So he had dipped out again for a little bit, but then he started coming around again. We started going over Mac's house, and that's when Mac was dating the girl Jamila, who I did not get along with. Okay, y'all done heard the story a couple times, who I did not get along with. So it was already issues with that. But then also, I told y'all this story last year. Mac's nephew, Steph, was staying there, and they weren't getting along because they got into it over a petty-ass video game, and Mac is super emotional. And he got mad because Steph called him Tinkerbell. So he was like, well, he ain't allowed to come in the sunroom. First off, this ain't even your house. This is both of y'all grandma's house. So how the fuck you gonna tell him he can't come somewhere that belong to his grandma too? So, I mean, I ain't got no issues with Steph. So when Steph walked past the window, I waved at Steph and said hi. Me, Mac, and Chicken and Spaghetti are sitting in the sunroom. We're the only ones in the sunroom. Usually the sunroom is deep. It's a whole bunch of niggas over there, this, that, and the third. For whatever reason, that evening, it was not. I had just got off of work. He asked me to bring him a beer. I had bought him a beer. And he's smoking my cigarettes. And he get mad because Steph in there and me and Steph chopping it up. And Mac throws, like, they going back and forth. And Mac throws the beer at Steph. And Steph is still ignoring him. Steph is like, I ain't got time for that petty emotional shit. Anyways, Nina. And I'm like, this nigga just threw a beer at you and you talking some anyways, Nina. I'm like, are you for real, Steph? You just gonna ignore that shit? And Mac, what is the fuck wrong with you? You just threw a beer. Nigga, I just paid for that shit. If I said, I bet that'd be the last time I ever buy your ass a beer. And it sure was. It's like that nigga took 2 sips out that shit and gunned the whole can at him. And it was a big can. And gunned the whole can at him. I said, you got me fucked up. So they're going back and forth. And Steph's ignoring him. Mac is super emotional. He's a Scorpio. He's super emotional. Steph like, yeah, I ain't got time for this shit. I think Steph is a Leo. Steph was like, yeah, I ain't got time for that shit, man. Anyway, Nina. So we still sitting there chopping it up, and Steph's father got murdered when he was like a child. So, and then on top of that, Matt claimed that was like one of his favorite people in the whole wide world. So why would you say to that man, you dead to me just like your father? That's what set Steph the fuck off. Steph said, bet? Oh, bet? He said, come outside, nigga. So I'm trying to keep Mac from fighting Steph. Chicken and Spaghetti sitting there the whole time scrolling on his phone. You're the only other man in there other than them two. I'm the only female. Why are you not trying to keep this shit from popping off before it pops off? So Mac gets up to go fight Steph. Steph's already outside. I'm pulling Mac by the back of his shirt. I'm pulling him so hard trying to keep him from going outside with Steph that I'm pulling back so hard my ass is touching the floor. Like I'm pulling on his shirt so hard my ass is hitting the floor. Somehow this nigga got out of my grip, okay? And then he go outside. These niggas get to thumping. I'm like, Chicken and Spaghetti, you're not going to help break this up? And he looked at me and he shrugged his shoulders. And that's when I realized, you know what? You a not shit ass nigga. And I started not liking him. Because I had already started picking up on certain things. Like, you just like Mac and my ex-fiance. You ain't got no ambition, no drive. You just floating through life. You just trying to get fucked up. That's your goal for the day. Just to make sure you get fucked up so you ain't got to feel your pain or deal with your pain. You ain't doing nothing productive. That's when I started realizing, why the fuck do I keep coming around these people? Okay? I'm like, I'm trying to do productive shit, and this is all y'all want to do is drink and fight and shit. And even Steph. Like, Steph is from Brooklyn. Steph came down here to stay with his grandma, because that's where Miss Kelly was from. She from Brooklyn. He came down here to stay with his grandma to turn a new leaf, start his life over and shit. He enrolling in college. He looking for a job. He from Brooklyn, my nigga. You've been living here basically your whole life since you were 6. Because they from Brooklyn. That's where all of them from. Like, the fuck? I'm like, and then he your nephew. He younger than you. Like, and you out there fighting him, and you just done told this man you dead to me just like your father. I would have put hands and feet on your ass too. You got me fucked up. Okay? You got me fucked up. So, I go out there to break it up. And then Chicken and Spaghetti finally get up. Like, nigga, you should have been got up. I'm trying to break it up. Max swinging wild as a bitch. I'm like, I can't even get nowhere near y'all. So, I go grab stuff, and like, I bear hugged him, and I pull him away. But I'm ducking behind stuff. I ain't trying to get hit. So I get stuff to come in the sunroom. And we standing over there. Because now, mind you, it's a sunroom. It's straight glass all the way around. There's only one wall, which is brick. And that's the wall that runs along the side of the house. Because that was technically the outside of the house. And then they built the sunroom on afterwards. That's the only brick in there. I mean, that's the only solid wall in there is that brick wall. Everything else is glass all the way around. Why Matt come in there and they still arguing, going back and forth? I'm thinking the fight is over with. This nigga Matt start picking up bottles, glass, big ass alcohol bottles, because that was the drinking spot. So people would come over there. People was in the military and stuff, so they would be bringing like foreign alcohol bottles over there and shit. And they would leave it because we had like a little memory table or whatever you want to call it. Like, yeah, I remember that night. Oh, I remember that bottle that night was crazy. So it's like, there's a whole bunch of empty alcohol bottles over there. This nigga start gunning the alcohol bottles at us. First off, you throwing it at him, you throwing it at me, and you throwing it at glass. I said, nigga, I said, is you tripping? A bottle went past my face. I said, is you tripping? I'm over here. I don't give a fuck what y'all issue is. I'm over here. Steph grabbed me so quick and pinned me up against the glass and started gunning them goddamn bottles down. He was gunning them shits. Like, now one bottle hit me. Now, I thank you, Steph, for protecting me, because that nigga is crazy. Not one bottle hit me. Chicken and Spaghetti standing there not doing anything. I'm thinking it's over. This nigga Mac pick up the damn table and threw the shit at Steph. Steph caught the table and threw the shit back at Mac. I said, this too much. I said, yo, let me out, yo. I go cut on the fan because I'm hot. I'm cussing them out. I can't believe y'all fighting and this, that, and the third. I go pull the string on the fan. I done pulled the fucking string out the fucking ceiling fan. Done broke. The granddaddy just put the fucking fans up there. Done broke the fucking fan. Then I done jammed and sprained my fucking thumb and my nail broke down in my nail bed. So I got blood all over the place. Plus my shit is swole. I gotta go in the house, go bother Miss Kelly, who's in a hospital bed, just to ask for a Band-Aid. She like, Nina, what happened to your thumb? I said, I closed it in the door. She said, Cause I said the car door. She said, the car door. She said, where Mac at? I said, he in the garage. I go find him for you, Miss Kelly. And I don't know, that lady knew, and she called them in there one by one, and everybody laughed, and she knew something was going on. She found out they was in there fighting, boy, she cussed Mac out. She cussed Mac out. Because he was dead wrong. Why would you say that? Why would you? And then that's her son that you said that about. Stuff's dad is her son, and you claim that you love her so much, you love her, so why would you say that? Why would you say that? It's just drama for no reason. So also the night when I got into the fight with Mac's girlfriend at the point in time, which was the night before my charity event. And I didn't want to be there then. Bitches got issues and attitudes. They playing music. They drinking. We're supposed to be, because it was our charity together. We started it together. But this was the night that, okay, he got let loose from the charity, because you not acting like that. You want to drink and smoke. Mac was supposed to wash one bag of clothes. He chose not to wash the bag of clothes for the homeless people. I just asked you to wash the clothes so they can have some clean clothes, bruh. And you couldn't even do that, but you want to drink and fuck your girlfriend that's a prostitute and be doing drugs and smoking and shit with people who ain't even showing up to the charity event the next day. I was so irritated. I'm like, why am I here? Then everybody keep asking, who got the weed? Who got the weed? I'm sitting there with a whole queue in my damn purse, sitting there scrolling on my phone. I don't know who got the weed. Shit, okay? Got a whole queue in my purse, bruh. Me and Matt's girlfriend ended up getting into it. We ended up getting in a fight. Everybody kept trying to break it up. They broke this shit up 3 times, okay? Bitch, you mush me in my face. It's on and popping. It's on and popping. So they finally break up the fight with me and her. Then her and Mac outside fighting in the back of a girl named Tika truck. Okay? Yeah, he just was straight swinging on the girl in the truck. She come back in there. I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to find my, I had some 10 karat gold hoops. I'm trying to find my other hoop. I said, hell no, that earring is 10 karat gold. I'm going to find this motherfucker before I leave about this bitch, okay? I'm going to find this motherfucker before I leave about this bitch. She come back in there and talks to Nina, you want to swing again? Are you asking me, do I want to fight again? Why, yes, I do. I looked at her, and I looked at Chicken and Spaghetti, and I looked at her again, and I looked at Chicken and Spaghetti. Oh, you ain't about to stop me from swinging on this bitch? Bet. I started swinging on her, started whomping on her. We end up on the ground. He trying to break it up. He was so weak. He could not get me off her for nothing. He was so weak. It felt like a little kid trying to get me off. I felt bad because I done pulled the girl hair out. I done put hands and feet on the girl. I done stomped the rib cage. Like, I felt bad. I just stopped fighting the girl. Because he definitely couldn't break her. So I just stopped fighting the girl. So him and it was somebody else by the name of Patty Cake. Ended up spending, not necessarily the night, cause by the time, okay, everybody gathered ourselves together, cause that shit was crazy, and we done got back to my crib. It was like 3 a.m. I had to get up at 7 a.m. because I had to take Chicken and Spaghetti all the way to Suffolk, which is a 45-minute drive one way, and I have to do my charity event. And Matt got 75% of my man donations, and getting man donations for homeless people is really, really hard. And that nigga kept my shit and gave my shit away. At that point in time, I started realizing not only me and Mac not friends no more, but neither is me and Chicken and Spaghetti, because you didn't help the situation at all. Like, you're just floating through life. You're just there to be there. You don't give a fuck about none of us. You don't even give a fuck about yourself. You're just there to be there. As long as you can get a ride or get some weed or get something, then yeah, you're good with being around me. You don't give a fuck about my livelihood, or well, not necessarily my livelihood, but my well-being, my peace of mind, my state of mind, my state of my emotions. You don't give a fuck about none of that. If I stop breathing, you ain't gonna give a fuck. Yeah, space filler. So eventually, Mac started defamating my character, going around popping shit about me. But Mac not only was an alcoholic at that point in time, he also was on Molly's and also on crack. So, I mean, at that point, I'm like, I'm just gonna let the nigga do whatever he needs to do. He defamated my character. Chicken and Spaghetti ended up taking his side, ended up moving funny. Last I heard, Mac and Chicken and Spaghetti was doing drugs together. Okay? But Mac did go to rehab though. But I don't know what happened to Chicken and Spaghetti. Last time I seen her was probably a year or two after that fight happened with Mac's ex-girlfriend. Because that was the last time I had seen him for a while. And he just showed up to my apartment, and I said, damn it, I really gotta move. Cause motherfuckers just coming knocking on the door because they know I stay here. I'm like, I really gotta move. And he trying to sell me some mustard seeds. I'm like, what the fuck I need mustard seeds? Nina, do you know what these mustard seeds can do? And this and that. He was trying to sell something to get some drugs. I said, nah, I'm good. In all honesty, I'm good on you. Don't come back. Okay? Don't come back. And that was, he's like, Nina, are you serious? Yeah, I have nothing for you, my G. Nothing at all for you, my G. And this is what I mean by space fillers. Because, okay, the lesson is, if you can't build with them, don't chill with them. Placeholders in your life just hold up space and drain your energy. And we don't need that. All right, babies. I'm your girl, Virgo Garden. If you didn't know that shit, I bet you know that shit now. How to follow me, how to book me, and how to get my wonderful, beautiful, amazing products that you all love so much will be down below in the description box. I love you, babies. Okay, like I tell y'all, do an energy circle check, baby. It's time to do an evaluation. Okay, we headed into fourth quarter. It's time to do an evaluation. Who needs to stay? Who needs to go? We don't need placeholders in our life. Okay, we don't need people to be there just to be there. Like I tell y'all, it's loyalty over history. Once that loyalty stop, baby, I gotta stop fucking with you. I don't care how long I've known you. Even if you don't do something disloyal, if you being there in my life no longer adds up, it no longer makes sense, I'm not holding on to you just because of past memories, baby. I'll keep the memories and I will let you go in peace. I said, think about it. Love you, babies. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Mwah.